Hey, I am Charlotte and I run a company called InvestStars, and the aim of InvestStars is to make investing more accessible for everyone. The reason I actually decided to start my company is because I was experiencing significant issues at work in my previous role, and the main issues that I was experiencing is micromanagement, and my line manager would constantly every day scrutinize my work, and it's had an incredibly negative impact on my self-esteem and also my abilities, or how I perceived my abilities to be. Every day I went into work, my work would just get absolutely destroyed. Anything that I would submit, everything was wrong all the time. And this just led me to really burn out and be just so exhausted. I used to have such bad anxiety as well. Like every time I received a message or every time, something happened, I would just really just be fearful that something I've done it was wrong. And to be honest, I really took this as like a personal failing, and the way I was made to feel was that it was all of my fault. And I really kind of went in on myself, and I really didn't communicate how I was feeling and the impact that it was having on me. I also felt like I couldn't actually even escalate it to senior management because there was no space. I didn't feel that there was any space for me to be able to go and voice my concerns. And this led for me to feeling incredibly helpless and just so isolated. And like I said, it really made me question like my own abilities. But actually on reflection now, it doesn't make sense, because in my previous roles and in my career, I've done really well. And it's just something was amiss here. But the micromanagement and the constant scrutiny every day just really kind of wore me down. And I think overall that like in any job you have to be adaptable and flexible, but I think the issue was that my line manager didn't have the expertise or the kind of knowledge and to manage the project effectively. So it resulted in her kind of over scrutinizing my work to have some sense of control. But the impact, like I really want to stress the impact that it was having, and it didn't just permeate my day-to-day work, but it also started impacting me outside of work. I would come home, I would feel incredibly drained. It was not a nice experience. I also had that really kind of dread deep in my stomach that I didn't ever want to go back into work. I just really couldn't handle like the anxiety and just the constant criticism. And also when I did try to challenge it, it wasn't received very well. So that kind of escalated, and it kind of spiraled into me just really going in on myself. So actually on reflection, I think one of the things I didn't do is I didn't speak up for myself or stick up for myself, because I really internalized it as like a personal failing, and it's something that it was to do with me and my capabilities. I quit and I didn't go back because my anxiety was so bad that I just didn't have the capacity to do that. So I think on reflection I should have really kind of said why I was quitting and just say these are the reasons why. And actually I did, 7 months later, it was still really affecting me. I was still having quite negative thoughts about it because I didn't express how I was feeling. So I actually sent an email to my old manager outlining the reasons why I quit and the actual detrimental impact that, micromanagement had on me and my ability to thrive in the role. So I should have done that at that time, but because of how I felt and how I was made to feel, which was that what I was doing or what I was producing was not good enough based on someone's opinion and not fact, that it just led me down a really, really not a great place. So my advice to anyone who is feeling that is always trust your gut. Don't second guess yourself. If you know that something isn't right, speak up. You don't have to suffer in silence. And the funny thing is that it actually came out that other people in my organization were feeling like this and they also quit. So it takes a person to speak up and to say their experience, because ultimately you're in a team. You're not just by yourself. So it's a collective thing for all of you to thrive together. And now I've quit my job, I've owned my own company, and I'm so happy because I get to meet other like-minded women and help them through the process of like investing and demystifying trading strategies. And I'm just so happy. And I just think on reflection I should have really listened to myself and just not allow someone else's anxieties to impact my own well-being. And it's been an absolute honor to be able to do this. And thank you for listening, and I hope that it's helped. Bye.